Hello, welcome. This is Martha Hines with Living the One Light. And today I am feeling called to make a video that is certainly related to the energies of the upcoming full moon that we have this Wednesday at 21 degrees, 21 minutes of Capricorn. But what the message that's wanting to come through is also very relevant and very related to life on this planet in general. So I think it's probably coming up partly because of the current transits, including that full moon. But it's a timeless message, I think. So you could be listening to this in the future, and it would still be very relevant. So I wasn't planning to make a video this week, but the last 2 days in my prayers, I've been getting this very consistent message from the spirit world, which is something along the lines of, I am part of the gentle structure of the earth as sky. So I'll break that down a little bit, but just to repeat it, I am part of the gentle structure of the earth as sky. And what this is feeling like for me is when I hear those words in my prayers, what I'm getting shown is the energy of what it is for the earth to create life and for just existence to create life. So I'll just give a little background. This past week, I went to the Sequoias in the Sierra Nevada mountains in California with my 2 kids. And while we were there, for any of you who've been there, they're amazing, majestic, gigantic trees. They're the trees on the planet that are the biggest in terms of volume. Redwoods are taller, but the sequoias are the biggest, and they're very, very, very wide. So they're huge, and they're very old. Some of them are 3,000 years old. So being with them is like it's like being with an old, ancient being, because they are. And at one point, my kids were, like leaning back on one, and they told me to come over and lean into this one. And so I did. I just lay back into, I want to say her, it, and I just closed my eyes and was quiet for a minute. And when I felt into the energy of her body, it was so gentle. It was like falling into this deep pool of gentle knowing, deep ancient knowing. But again, the energy of her was surprised me how soft and gentle it was. So when I'm getting this message in my prayers about us being part of the gentle structure of the earth as sky, what it's feeling to me like is a really important reminder that when we think of Capricorn energies and Saturn energies, often we have this idea that there's a harshness or like a forced quality to creating structures or enforcing things that need to be done. And that absolutely is true, can be true, no doubt. And the earth can be fierce and intense and all of that. But what I'm being shown and reminded of is that at its essence, that Saturnian Capricornian energy is a yin energy. I've said this in a few other videos. And This is something that, you know, my main astrology teacher, Ari Moshe Wolf, talks about a lot. Is Saturn as a yin sign. And if anybody hasn't watched the video that I did with him for the Rebecoming the One symposium, he did a whole video on Saturn, and it's beautiful and phenomenal, and I highly recommend that. Plus, just his work in general is wonderful. So, but on this, so this full moon again is going to be at 2121 Capricorn, and so Capricorn is associated with the planet of Saturn, and Saturn happens to be squaring the nodes of the moon right now. So Saturn is very highlighted. And this full moon is, you know, quote unquote, ruled by Saturn. So it's the Saturnian energy is just so heightened and strong right now. And so I think what the spirit world is trying to do is help me or us, anyone, any of you listening who feel called to drop into what is really the approach to these Saturnian energies, the Capricornian energies that are the most soothing, helpful, healing. What's really the essence of what that energy is in us, on this planet, in the world. And as we know, you know, for this 18-month period, we have the North Node in Taurus, which is very much related, of course, to Earth as well. And we have Uranus and the North Node about to conjunct along with Mars on August 1st. So we're already in that energy of all that coming together. So this Taurus energy is really highlighted too. So it makes sense to me that these energies are really present and strong for me, at least. I'm guessing for some of you too. So the other aspect that's coming through in my prayers around this is the need, really strong need for us to what they call radically ground. And this is something I'm going to be, one component of what I'm going to be talking about at this a gathering that I'm going to be holding this Saturday, July 16th, 2022, which you're all welcome to join. You're all invited. I'd love to have you there. But in this time of, you know, lots and lots of upheaval, the spirit world has been saying, and I spoke to this more in my last video. You can definitely take a look at that if you want to hear more. But they're saying there are three major components of what is really important to navigate this time in a aligned, healthy, grounded way. And those three components are align with ourselves as the vibration of the divine itself. Number two is to radically ground, and I'll say a little more about that in 1 second. And then number three is to clear ourselves of anything that's not us, like clear, like me, clear my body, clear my energy of anything that's not of me resonating as the divine, essentially. So what's coming through in my prayers in the last couple of days and regarding this full moon is very relevant to that second component of those three things that the spirit world has been emphasizing lately. So again, that second component is radically grounding. So what I feel when I feel into what they mean by radically grounding is that they and Gaia, the earth herself, again, you know, I get a little nervous like personifying these things, but this is how I feel it genuinely. So I'll just say it as it is. They really want us to remember, first of all, that we are the earth. We physically are the earth. What else are we? And we energetically are the earth and the cosmos and all of existence. So when we radically ground, what that means, what that looks like is that this one version, the version I'm shown, is the earth itself has an inner core that is light. She is light. We are light. We are of the light. Source is light. And so the inner core of the earth parallels the light that is us and the light that is source. It's all same thing. They're just little holograms of each other, right? So this radically grounding involves essentially coming into our bodies, coming into ourselves, and feeling all the way down into the center of the earth until we get to that light, that resonance of the inner earth, that vibration that is us as the divine, as the earth. And then that light comes up into our bodies and fills our bodies and resonates with the light that is us, the essence of us. And then the light of source, again, is parallel to the light that is us, the light that is the earth, and it all gets connected. So we're radically grounding means being grounded both in the earth herself and source and our own being, our own heart, our own soul. So we're radically present here and now. And then as we're radically grounded, what starts to come up for me, what I feel in my own body and my own self, is that like the energy of the earth itself begins to rise and is given freedom to express as me, express as us, because again, we are it, right? So it's like, I don't, as a human in this day and age, in the dominant culture in much of the world, certainly in my world, my life, there's this incorrect assumption that we need to, as a human, create kind of as individuals, in this individualistic focus. We know this, and that our creation often needs to come from our brain. So it cuts us off from our bodies, it cuts us off from our hearts, it cuts us off from our spirit and our soul, and it cuts us off from each other, and it cuts us off from the world, the earth, and the cosmos, and anything really other than our individualistic mind, which is not helpful and often even dangerous. So this radically grounding, it's like reconnecting. Actually, it's not even like, it is. It's like, it is like, and it is reconnecting an electrical source back into its socket. You know, like we are the energetic of the earth. We are the energetic of ourselves. We are the energetic of the cosmos and all of life and source, everything. And we forget that. And so we become disconnected from that, our energy being literally plugged into who we are, which is the earth and source and all of existence. And when we plug back in, when we radically ground, suddenly we're not alone. Suddenly we have this infinite source of energy, infinite source of life, infinite source of joy and love and peace, and a reconnection to the reality of who we actually really are. So when I come back to the message I've been getting in my prayers, again, it was something along the lines of, I am the gentle structure of the earth as sky. And, another simpler way to sum it up would be, I radically ground in the earth and the all that is. Yeah, that's it. I think that sums up everything I was being asked to say. But I'll just add that, again, I am going to be holding this gathering on Saturday, July 16th, 2022. I would love to have you there. And in that session, in that 90-minute session, it's going to be largely channeled. And I'm going to hold space for us to come into those three components that I was mentioning of the aligning with the vibration of ourselves as the divine, number one. Number two, coming into the space of radically grounding, your own version of that. And then number three, clearing anything that is not of that vibration of ourselves as the divine. So as I said in the previous video, those three components are things that I do in my prayers every day. And it, you know, I don't know how I would live without it. so everybody has their own thing, and this may or may not resonate for you, but if it does, I would love to share it with you, and I would love to hold healing space for whatever healing is needed for you in this moment. You can be there live on Zoom. It's going to be at 10 a.m. Pacific time, Saturday, July 16th, or you can listen to the recording anytime you want. So I'll have a link in the description of this video for that. I'm also going to be holding these gatherings every month. And so the next one I have planned is Saturday, August 13th, also at 10 a.m. Pacific. And I haven't been told by the spirit world yet what the topic of that one will be, but I have a feeling it's going to be something around deep peace and healing. We'll see. We'll see what comes through. I'm sure I will be told whatever it's meant to be. But that'll be Saturday, August 13th. So the first one will be this Saturday, July 16th. The next one will be Saturday, August 13th, 10 a.m. Pacific, both times. And I'm also in the works of planning a couple of guest workshops. So in the works as a one guest workshop I'm planning with Eric Roth on Vesta. I'll be doing a video with him regarding his book on Vesta, who is one of the asteroid goddesses. He's a shamanic astrologer. And then also, then we'll be doing a workshop following that free video to drop more into Vesta through all the archetypes and in your own life. And then, so that'll be in August. And then in September, I will be doing another guest workshop with Verena Burrell, who is also a wonderful astrologer. She's an evolutionary astrologer. She and I both study with and work with Ari Moshe Wolf, my primary astrology teacher, who I mentioned before. And yeah, so Verena is writing a book, or has written a book on Diana, another of the goddess asteroids. And so we'll be doing a free video together on that, and then co-hosting a guest workshop with her in September on that. So, and lots of other things are percolating that I'm planning, but those are the things I feel ready to say are definitely happening. So please be in touch with questions, comments, reflections. I really love hearing from people, really love hearing from you. Thank you so much if you have already reached out to me about your own journey, your feelings on these videos. Also, the Rebecoming the One symposium, which I hosted in June, is still available and free indefinitely. So you can sign up for that on my website at livingtheonelight.com. That is a series of 42 interviews that I did, as well as an opening ceremony and 4 panel discussions, all focused on various aspects of healing our relationship to gender and sexuality. Phenomenal speakers, phenomenal talks, and all free. I want it to be a living, breathing resource for our world, for our communities. Just, rethinking how we conceive of and approach gender, sexuality, and then the connection between that healing and the healing of all things in our world, like racism, environmental justice, healing around war and peace. And yeah, so wonderful. Please definitely take a look at that if you haven't already. Again, on my website, livingtheonenight.com. And then the last thing I'll say that I'm offering right now is one-on-one, one-time sessions and also ongoing mentoring. I have some few times available still in July and then more times available in August. But I love holding space for people individually. And so if that calls to you, please reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions. I do astrology readings, and I do also just general spiritual mentoring, as well as really deep dive transformational healing work. If you feel like you're, among other things, if you feel like you're ready to really shift your life in a way that, is, you want to make a change and you want to let go, like you're ready to let go of certain karmic patterns, or you want to move into a healing state in some way. I use a combination of astrology, but also really deep energy work. And then also I have this background as a clinical social worker and psychotherapist for many years, in addition also to being a body worker. So I'm not functioning as a therapist, but I have those, decades worth of skills and trauma informed knowledge. So I'm able to hold space for that kind of transformational work in a trauma informed way, and do it in a way that'll be gentle and hopefully easy on your system, and at the same time bring whatever healing it is that you're needing in this moment. So yeah, if any of that calls to you, please reach out. I would love to support you in whatever way you need. All right. Thank you again, and see you soon.